All right, welcome back. And as I said earlier, that we're going to have guests, and the guests are here. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, we have Tanya Clark and Nebat Nyirenda from Invegrow.
Yes, that's right.
And we are here to talk about industrial hemp.
Yes,
there's been a lot of debate.
Industrial.
Industrial hemp. And there's been a lot of talk about this. And first of all, I'd like to understand how can we differentiate between these marijuana, the one that we smoke, and this industrial hemp.
Well, thank you very much for having us. Very briefly, like chilies, potatoes, eucalyptus or blue gum, you get different varieties of crops. And the cannabis is the family of plants, but you get different varieties within that. And what differentiates them is the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which we've likened to alcohol. So you can get like an alcohol-free beer, for example, Tobwa and Chibuku. Okay. So even though they come from the same product, one has alcohol and one doesn't. So in a sense, industrial hemp is the non-alcoholic variety. Even if you take something from the field and try and smoke it, it doesn't have the chemical in it that will cause you to change your mindset. Therefore, it really is not a dangerous thing. It is also currently grown in 36 countries around the world. So today we've brought you some examples of some products that are now being made. And this has really helped us a lot in our lobbying campaign with the government, with chiefs, with civil society groups, with the youth groups. And this is happening now. So our question was, well, we're Malawians, you know, we're dedicated and committed to Malawi, so why can't we do this here?
So we just had the trials, right?
Yes, we had trials with the sanctioning by government at the Chiteze Research Station. We've completed the first trial. The last crop was uprooted around April, and we had the results tested by the Bureau of Standards. It indeed confirmed that the variety that we planted within the research station did not have any substance that can disturb the mind. So I think the first hurdle is passed, but we still have to bring general awareness specifically to answer the question that you raised, because vegetatively the crop looks the same or looks similar in the field, but the properties are different. So it's like Chinangwa, Chowawa, China Chosisira. It's the same family of Chinangwa. So we still have to communicate a lot to the general public to really distinguish between the two plants.
And we use certified seed. So the seed, this is important, the seed that we are using in the trials is imported, certified, low THC seed. In Malawi at the moment, unfortunately, no study has been done on your local varieties. We could have industrial hemp here, but no study has been done, nothing is certified. So we've had to import the seed, which we are trialing. That at the moment is one of the prohibitive factors for the industry, but Invegrow, together with the government, very committed to trying to reduce that cost of seed and to generate the industry. So at the moment we are not using local Malawian varieties, we are using imported certified varieties. We do have a long way to go, as Mr. Nyirenda said, so but we just wanted to maybe show the people. I think this speaks for itself. I think when the stalk comes out of the field, it looks like this. So you can see this doesn't look particularly harmful or dangerous. This is actually sort of an example of the stalk that has this fiber. Now it looks quite rough here, but this is eventually, after processing, what is used to make t-shirts like this.
Okay.
So this is a mixture of hemp and cotton, and I bought this in South Africa. So they import the material from China. The Chinese have the sort of textile industry down. This fiber is very, very strong. It's one of the strongest fibers known to man. It was used for the Navy to make their ropes, their sails. So the fiber is very well known, but back in the day, it competed with cotton and synthetics. So for political reasons, it was banned.
Yeah, okay.
But for World War II, incidentally, they legalized it in America, just for World War II. So they understand, the world understands the benefit of this. It's just potentially a political issue.
Okay.
And then you've got here hemp socks. You've got some bamboo socks.
Okay.
And here you've got sort of
fabric,
and you can mix this, just have it by itself.
Yeah.
Just for, say, military grade uniform, or you can mix it with cotton and silk to soften up the fabric. We've got building materials. So after you take the fiber off, you're left with sort of the woody core, which you can chip up, and you make this kind of a substance. They are now building houses with this.
With this?
Around the world, yes.
Okay.
This is an example of hempcrete. So
you build a house with this. Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah, so you mix it with lime and a binder. I mean, it's not as simple as that, obviously, but you build the shutters, you fill it in. You've also got, this is hemp insulation. Maybe in Malawi we don't need it as much, but in the colder countries we certainly do. That's made from hemp short fiber.
Okay. And there's some clothes too, somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Nerbit.
Okay.
Strut your stuff.
Yes, here we have shorts made from hemp, pure hemp. So once you have done, you have stripped off the fiber, and you've rolled it into cloth. You can make it into anything.
Wow.
Shirts,
Wow.
socks, t-shirts,
So
suits.
Hemporium in South Africa, they import this material from China, and then local people will make the clothes. And they sell these in their shops, in their retail shops in South Africa. And that's, I just got some samples from them.
Yeah, and then there are higher end products in the body care. I'm sure a lot of Malawians will have already bought some of these products
I think so, yeah.
for their body and for their hair. I'm sure when you go in these shops, you'll see some lotions that are purely made of Indian hemp or others industrial hemp. So that's part of the higher end products for the body care. But still, in the pharmaceuticals, there is a market for what they call the CBD, which are the oils that help in the neural system of the body, so that you are always active, you are always energetic, you are always charged up, instead of just being stressed, and maybe once you are stressed, so many diseases creep into your body. So when your body is fired up well, you need some chemicals in there, and CBD from hemp is a very useful chemical for that.
So as a country, we can from growing industrial hemp.
As you can see, the whole of the plant is fully utilized. It has a use.
Yeah.
Economic use, you have seen. This is money to be made. Environmental, let me just point out that hemp has got the capacity to extract the bad air from the atmosphere. So the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, hemp will filter it in. And also on the ground, if there are bad things on the ground, hemp has the potential to extract the bad minerals, metals. And so you can see that from the environmental side, hemp is very good. Maybe a hectare of hemp is equivalent to maybe 10 hectares of pine in terms of environmental sustainability. Yes. So the whole of the plant is very useful. So it has got a social use, it has got an economic use, it has got an environmental use, unlike maybe other crops that we have known, which have only got one use. For instance, tobacco, its use is only smoking. And maybe that is why the people in Malawi are a bit hesitant to talk about hemp, because everybody else is indoctrinated to think about only smoking. But this crop has got a lot of uses. As you can see, this is business. The whole of the plant is used.
Yeah.
So the chamba that we know, the marijuana, does it have any benefits? Like
Yeah.
Apart from maybe smoking, I don't know if it's got benefits.
Well, it can actually. You can use some of the marijuana plant for fiber and medicinal products. However, fiber is quite a delicate thing. It needs to be a certain quality. It needs to be a certain strength. So, if you allow the plant to really mature for a long time, that will affect the fiber quality. So it really, if you're going to be growing industrial hemp for fiber, you need to adopt certain agronomy techniques.
Yes,
And the agronomy, the amount of seed planted per hectare will also vary. Now, marijuana, you want the crop ideally to flower. What you're smoking in marijuana is mainly the flowers. That's what contains the cannabinoids. THC, the alcohol, is a cannabinoid. So if you, that's what you're smoking basically. So that's the final stage of a plant's growth. Fiber, you're only harvesting at 100 days or so. And then you have to go through the processing to prepare it for the final production. I think there are some similar products that can be made, but the agronomy will be different. Doing something as a horticultural thing as opposed to an actual commercial agricultural thing is a different. They're different. They're different processes.
Yeah, so I think in our case we want to avoid going into this intermingling of this crop, because the confliction will diffuse the potential that this industrial hemp has, because people still think that chamba is something that is not good for the country. But I think as we develop socially and with time and learning from what is happening in other places, particularly the United States, we can still look at ways of containing marijuana availability. There are other countries that have been liberal, for instance, Holland. I had the opportunity to visit Amsterdam myself, and I didn't see the population in Holland being all smoked up in marijuana. So I think the moment you start being very protective, the moment you start banning certain things, that's when you generate the interest. Now people stop reasoning and they just operate like a switch, either on and off. But I've been to Amsterdam, and in Netherlands this is allowed, and I didn't see people in the street being high.
Everybody.
No.
Okay, now the trials have been done. What next?
What next is that there is a requirement by the government that you need to test a technology for 3 consecutive growing seasons before it can be approved by the Technology Clearing Committee in government, which is a partnership with other specialists. So we are following that protocol, and the way we have avoided the 3 seasons, which technically meant 3 years, is that we have done irrigation component. So we will be doing the first trial was rain-fed, and then the second trial will be doing it under irrigation, and the third trial. So we're hoping that probably towards the end of this year we'll have completed those 3 consecutive trials for the localized conditions, so that they can test for whatever parameters are needed to clear the technology. And then from there we can explore the commercial bit of the crop.
And we're committed to continuing research, to continue reducing the cost of this industry. It's only in its infancy in Africa. Mind you, it's already quite well developed in Europe and Australia, Canada. Canada's big for hemp foods. You can see some examples here of hemp seed oil, which is what is used also in the cosmetics. You've got hemp seed protein powder, very nutritious, very high in protein, just under soy. So imagine if we could have these things in Malawi, feeding our children. There is no alcohol in these products.
Particularly the hemp protein foods. The protein that you get from the hemp seed is even better than the protein which is in soya. And it absorbs better in the body. So specialists have tested out there. because the soya protein, your body will not digest all of it. If you take it, it will reject some of it. But the hemp protein is fully absorbed by the body. And then the hemp oils, once you crush the seed, there comes some oil out of it. This oil has got very important oils for your nervous system and memory,
Omegas.
the omega oils, which you can get in maybe fish, the head of the fish, there are those oils there. So, because your body cannot make that type of oil, you have to take it from an outside source. And hemp is such a useful crop in terms of those fatty acids. Yeah.
You wanted to say something?
Yeah, so we finished trial number 1, but we are now in the process of trial number 2. And trial number 3, with any luck, will start in September time. And really the government's been very supportive. We've had some great results, we've had some not great results, and that's what trials are for.
Yeah.
And we feel very optimistic, however, that we do have a business here. We can try and incorporate, try and sort of provide a model for how this could be rolled out. But the reality is that the government's going to have to play a very active role in how it is rolled out to Malawians. And I think people are very excited about this, but they also have to be a bit patient.
Yeah, because what is important is to put in place a good policy and regulatory environment for private sector to operate.
Yeah.
At the moment, we are using archaic legislation which were left to us by the British. So this, yes. This legislation essentially maybe puts this crop on the borderline, even to the extent of banning. So we have to comb up all those pieces of legislation and align it to the proper 21st century ways of doing business. And then, because we are looking at it as an industrial crop, it means that government will have to come up with a policy and strategy for this crop, just like we've done with tobacco and maybe to some extent maybe cotton and maize. We need to have a proper policy and a strategy so that any player who comes to do industrial hemp as an agriculture and industrial crop can have these points of reference in the sense of policy, in the sense of laws, and in the sense of the administrative framework. So this makes it easy for somebody to come in, but we have had to go through a lot of searching and unraveling things. Fortunately, we are where we are because of our patience and hard work.
Thank you so much. I wish we could talk about this like forever.
Unfortunately,
we're around, and if anybody wants to check it out, www.invegrow.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, this was Tanya and Nebat. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope when you call you again, you'll be able to
We'll
come.
definitely
Yeah.
take you
We'd love
to the site to see how the crop is in the field.
Yeah.
So pretty soon we'll ask Zodiac to join us to the trial site so that you can actually see how the crop looks in the field.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
All right, so that's how we've concluded our show today, Sunrise on Zodiac. And the program will be back tomorrow from 6 in the morning. So make sure you are there, because we'll also bring you another full package of Sunrise. You've been with me, Tia, and my colleague Robert will be back tomorrow. Have a lovely morning.